Hey, everybody. My name is Rob Goyette, and I am so thrilled to be interviewed by Prosper here on the Online Prosperity Show. And the topic that we're going to discuss today is really around a formula that helps your customers and clients say yes. It makes it irresistible for them to hire you or really do whatever you want them to do. So, we're going to have a great conversation around that, and we even get to talk about some fun stories like how I used to be a rapper. So, glad to be here and hope you enjoy the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show, the number one place where coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs learn how to turn what they know into a business they love. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga. And if you've ever wondered how to maybe make your coaching offers irresistible, the kind that makes clients say yes without any hesitation, then I think today's episode is going to be that a golden ticket you've been waiting for. Because today we've got Rob Goyette. Now, Rob, how are you doing today?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me here, Prosper.
Absolutely. Well, the pleasure is all mine. I actually had my book ready so you can sign an autograph for me, because when I heard that you were coming on the show, I looked you up and I heard you were once a rapper.
Yeah, that information is pretty hard to find online. We haven't deliberately scrubbed it or anything, but I did. I was in a rap group in high school and college.
Absolutely. Well, when we are investigating, we really want to know who's coming on to the show. So we did a bit of digging. But for those that are watching right now, no, we're not going to be spitting some bars or asking you to follow our rap music. Maybe we will later. But Rob is the man who's actually cracked the code on trust, congruence, and what actually makes people say yes. Now, a lot of us are just spraying and praying with our marketing, and we don't quite know how to actually convert those customers into, people that pay, stay, and refer. And I think this is something that Rob has got, his thumbs on. So Rob has been serving coaches since 2007, helping them create offers that convert fast. And he is the creator of the Fast Revenue Laser Coaching Model. This is a system so powerful that he's even tried it himself, and he's enrolled over 50 clients that have all paid him in advance without any strategy sessions or any discovery sessions that a lot of us, all constantly do and not end up converting our clients. So now I know there's a lot that we're going to learn about this. So I'll just let Rob start dropping a few marketing bars for us today. And if you're just chilling in, I encourage you to grab a coffee, grab a notebook, and let's find out what happens when rhythm actually meets revenue. Now, Rob, I was going to ask you to start with your best track, in your rap or your rap album. But tell us, what was life like when you were in high school and you were famous?
Yeah, so really the whole rapper thing, I was not that talented, but I really enjoyed the marketing aspect of having a rap group, getting us on the radio, having us be in commercials, winning talent shows. So I didn't really have a lot of natural talent. This was back in the 90s, kind of when Vanilla Ice was becoming popular. We were kind of some of the other white kids on the scene. I grew up in Missouri, so we actually got semi-famous in the state of Missouri in the United States. Nothing really outside of that. But I really enjoyed the marketing part of it. And so my other two band members or rap mates, they were more into the dancing and the rhythm and the words. So it was kind of a fun little project that we did in high school. We ended up winning our talent show. So we took it into college and started to see what we could do with it there. And we ended up performing like the biggest halftime show of the basketball game. It was a pretty big deal in Missouri, but outside of Missouri, yeah, not so well known.
Well, fame is fame, whether it's in your street corner or in your hood. It's one of those things, that people actually, should treasure and should value because it doesn't come easy. Now, the fact that you're famous in just Missouri, is that the reason why rappers always tell you the city they come from, because that's the only place everybody knows who they're from?
I think they're usually proud of where they're from, or at least proud that they survived where they're from. Missouri's not a big not a lot of gang wars in Missouri. So yeah, probably there's the whole East Coast, West Coast thing, and I didn't really get involved in all that. I enjoy some rap music, but this is a very minor part of who I am and what I've done. But I think we're talking about like an interesting fact. Yeah, most people don't know that I used to be a rapper.
Great stuff. Now, you did mention that the marketing side of rapping was the interesting bit. Now, could you maybe open us up to what sort of marketing was involved and how did you sort of conduct that? Because then that sort of formulates the string of what then you're doing, with the kind of marketing work you're doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it at the time, but I was unconsciously using this master formula that I would like to share with you. It's what I use in business today. It's how I enrolled those 50 clients you mentioned without strategy sessions in the first year that I created laser coaching. And that formula, and I was going to joke, Prosper, that if you and I were going to go out and get tattoos tonight, I might encourage us both to get this formula tattooed on our forehead, written backwards so we could see it in the mirror every day. The formula that I'm about to share, it's how I troubleshoot all of my marketing. It's how I help all of my clients. It's how I come up with new business ideas, new offers for customers. And that formula is trust and a congruent, irresistible offer. And so to take it back to the rap thing, we had to build trust with these people who controlled the venues to let us perform, whether it was performing like the college football coach's birthday party or that halftime show or being in commercials. They had to trust that if they hired us or asked us to come perform, that we would deliver, right? So they had to trust us. Congruence meant we were rapping about the things that people wanted to hear about. So at the basketball game, we rapped about basketball. We were in a Macintosh commercial, like Apple Macintosh, just local again. It wasn't like national or anything, but we rapped about how awesome the Macintosh is or was back in the 90s. So being congruent means meeting or exceeding expectations. And then the irresistible offer is where you provide way more value than what it costs you, or what it costs the person, I should say. So if someone's hiring you to help them make $10,000 and you're charging them only $1,000, that's an example of irresistible. If they trust you and if it's congruent with what they want to do and how they want to do it, if you can give them 10 times the return on what they're paying you in this example, that's irresistible. It's huge value for a relatively small cost. So in the rap sense, yeah, we tried to provide big value and make it really, really easy for these different venues to have us.
Absolutely. You know what I like about all of that is you're absolutely right. If you're given a slot, say maybe 30 minutes to do your performance, and if people don't like that, it obviously will reflect upon the venue or that actual event. So there had to be that sort of level of trust and things of that nature. But for you to gain that sort of trust, there has to be some sort of a track record of how were people going to see that these people were the actual people? Did you provide them with demo tapes or what sort of evidence did you then garner for people to actually trust you? And you also want to put it in the context of today's, coach.
Yeah, I don't really reflect back on the rap stuff very often, so it's a little bit fun for me. But I'd love to keep most of our focus on marketing because that's probably what people want to hear. But I'll answer your question, and that is that to enter a high school talent show, you really don't have to have much trust. So that when we did well in our high school talent show, we then used that for the credibility to go to these other venues saying, we won our senior year high school talent show. And so like, all right, we'll listen to you. And then we might share the lyrics of what we would sing about. So yeah, I mean, building trust in that aspect, we just kind of went where there was a really low barrier to entry. Like, to take it to coaching, if you're coaching someone for free, they don't really have to trust you that much because you're not charging them any money. So that's kind of what we did at the talent show. We performed the talent show for free. We happened to do really well, but then we got the equivalent of a testimonial, which that's what we would use in today's terms for marketing. But yeah, winning the high school talent show allowed us to approach some of these college opportunities.
Great stuff. Now, as you progress, you've worked in tech and teaching before all of this. Has that got anything to do with what you're now creating?
I think that my experience in teaching adults to use computer software has been helpful, especially around any technical aspects of marketing. So if someone's having trouble with their shopping cart solution or trying to get one system to talk to another, or SEO, you know, that kind of stuff, I happen to be pretty good at the technical stuff. So it's been helpful. But I really, based on the marketing stuff, it's just a nice extra skill to have. But the marketing stuff, that's the 80-20. That's the important stuff that's going to really make a big difference, because you can always hire someone to handle your tech needs, or even ask AI nowadays. But as far as the marketing, this is where I'd really encourage everyone listening to shine and really embrace that formula of trust and a congruent, irresistible offer.
Absolutely. So you created this laser coaching model in 2015, and obviously when you tested it on yourself, it actually worked. You know, was there any sort of aha moment when you realized this is not just a good idea, but a total game changer that I can actually teach others so they too can create trust, congruency, and resistible offers?
Yeah, and I didn't have this formula back at the time, but I was trying to figure out, how can I get some more clients? I really want some people to hire me. Like, I was starting to get a little worried about finances back then. I was like, how can I earn some money coaching? And I thought, well, what would be just a no-brainer, irresistible offer? I had built up a list of about 3,000 people at the time, and most of them trusted me. I had done some good things to build trust with that audience. Again, I wasn't connecting the dots to that formula back then. I do now every day. But I thought, what would make this thing so irresistible that people would say yes? And I thought, well, what if I offered them a year of unlimited coaching with me? Would that be irresistible to some people? And based on the trust and expertise and my reputation with them, I think most of them would love to have a year of unlimited coaching. But then I thought, well, that could get kind of unmanageable, right? If somebody buys a year of unlimited coaching, they could go wild and just fill up my calendar with all these calls. So I put a couple of barriers in place, or rules in place, that kept it really, really reasonable. The first thing is that I realized the coaching calls I had been doing were usually 1 or 2 hours long. And I realized a lot of the time we were just chatting. If, you know, a little chit chat, we weren't really doing much. And if we got through what we needed to, the client would kind of try to keep the call going because they're paying for an hour of my time. But if we really got right down to business, a lot of the stuff we could cover, we could do in just 15 minutes. So I thought, let me try offering unlimited 15-minute laser coaching to my audience and see if they like that. But before I actually pushed send for the email, I thought, well, I don't want somebody just booking a whole bunch of calls and not showing up to the calls. So maybe there needs to be a little bit of accountability on this end. So luckily, before I launched it, I included a homework rule that says, hey, Prosper, if you hire me for a year of unlimited 15-minute calls, the only rule is that we will come up with homework on the calls, and you need to do your homework to make progress before you schedule your next call. And I am so glad I put that in there, because that kept the calls really reasonable. The average client who hired me for a year of unlimited calls, the average client had somewhere between 7 and 8. I think it was 7.2, 7 and 8 calls with me over the course of a year. Some people had 20 calls. But a lot of people only had one or two or three. They felt like they got so much value from those short calls that they were happy. I've got testimonials from people saying, I got all my value on the first call. So I knew that I could deliver things well, that I could help clients when I was talking with them. I knew it wouldn't take long. And so I packaged it all up into this unlimited laser coaching is what I called it. And yeah, I opened 8 spots and those sold out very easily. The next, I wanted to see how it was going to go. I didn't want to like open up 50 spots all at once. So I opened up 8, and my wife was nervous about this unlimited coaching. I was a little nervous, but we opened up the spots. 8 people joined. They loved it. I opened up another 8 spots about a month later, and 8 more people joined. And I started telling some of my peers about it, some of my, what I would call my joint venture partners, people who also are, yeah, we hang out together, we share ideas. And they tried doing it as well, and they started selling a lot of laser coaching. But they made a lot of mistakes. They were just interested in the sales part, like how do I just get a whole bunch of people to sign up for it? So they basically used the very same email copy that I did, sent it out to their list, and got all these clients, but they were doing a lot of things wrong. So over the years, I really refined this into like the current course that I'm known for in the coaching space. But it all came from that formula of trust and a congruent irresistible offer, giving people what they want, huge value, and they've got to trust you a little bit before they'll spend money.
Absolutely. See, it all sounds like, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be going into a shop, you trust that they will deliver on whatever it is that you're going to purchase from them, and at a reasonable price, which is fair to both. They also want to make a profit and things of that nature. But when it comes to coaching, the reason why you would find a need for something like this is because people are getting it wrong. So what are coaches getting wrong on this particular formula?
Sure. So a lot of coaches don't feel comfortable giving away a year of their time for a low price. They're like, I need to make it just 3 months instead of a year. Well, when you do that, people actually have more calls with you than if you give them a year. It's kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet that's closing in 20 minutes. Everybody's running up to get another big plate of food. But if people have a year, they're more relaxed about the coaching, knowing they can use it anytime over the next year. In fact, I tried an experiment where I was actually selling 2 years of laser coaching at a time, and those 2-year people had about the same number of calls as the 1-year people. But the coaches who say you get 1 month with me, or 3 months, or even 6 months, they actually end up having more than that statistical number of 7.2 calls per client. And it's because the client feels scarce around, I've got to use this because it's expiring soon. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I got you. You see, I was actually reading this book, A 12-Week Year, and they mention in the book that when you plan something, with a year in mind, guess what happens? You actually don't have urgency. You're like, from January to December, I have a lot of time. And it actually makes sense what you're saying there, to say that people would say, oh, there's still a lot of time, for them to call, which results in very few phone calls. All right. And obviously people started getting results and things of that sort of in nature. What was the one thing that, if people would have done a little bit different, they would have gotten much better results than they were before?
Yeah. I would say probably the number one mistake that my peers were making was they were shortening the duration of the coaching period. So instead of a year, they were saying 3 months. Instead of a low price, they were selling it at a high price. The idea behind laser coaching is it's a low price for people to start working with you. And over that laser coaching relationship, you build more trust so that they are open to your other irresistible offers. It takes a low amount of trust for people to sign up for laser coaching because it's so affordable and they get so much, they get a year, right? With that low trust barrier, more people will, I've found, hire me, and other people, other coaches will hire us. It doesn't require as much trust, but then during the coaching relationship, we build that trust. And there's a clever upsell strategy we teach in the course, which is to let people apply what they spent on the laser coaching toward the next thing, the next program. So I was selling these expensive VIP weekends with me, where I would actually travel to a client and spend 3 days with them setting up their complete marketing funnel. Some of the technology stuff helped them to be able to know what to do. But so I said, why don't we take this money you've spent on laser coaching and apply it toward this VIP weekend? So I actually helped a lot of laser coaching clients purchase my high ticket offer by building trust with them at that lower price point. It's almost like getting paid to build trust and rapport with your ideal clients. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. Now, talking about, your high ticket and, VIP retreats, you're living in Puerto Rico right now. So you've got a permanent, retreat or permanent VIP sort of situation, and you're actually running your business. And I think you've clearly defined and designed your life on your own terms. What does freedom look like for you right now?
It's a good question. I guess it's the freedom to live anywhere, and really most coaches and anyone who does not have to meet with their customers in person. Most of us coaches, yeah, we have that freedom to be able to live anywhere. Before Puerto Rico, I lived in Colorado Springs. Before that, my wife is German. We lived in Germany for 4 years. Before that was Missouri. So being able to live anywhere that there's an internet connection, if you've got internet, that means you can talk to clients. If you've got a way to collect money like Stripe or PayPal or any way to collect money, it's a really low barrier of entry to become a coach. And so really, I think if there's one thing new coaches could probably do to help their success rate, it would be to be more of an expert on how to help their clients get results. And the great thing is with AI, you can now ask AI all those questions that you need to know the answers to become an expert. Or between calls, you can go over to AI and say, hey, my client just asked me this, or here's the transcript of my recording with the client. Tell me how to help this person. So we now have this really cool, powerful tool in our back pocket called AI that can help us become more of an expert on helping our clients get the results that they want and that they need. They'll hire you for what they want, and they'll stay with you because you're giving them what they need.
Absolutely. Now, you brought up AI, and so many people don't quite trust it in the fact that it's either here to take their jobs and it doesn't really sound human. So will AI still be able to deliver on that trust aspect that you're talking about, especially when it comes to coaches?
Yeah, I would say that AI may replace coaches and coaching at kind of a level 1 level. So basic stuff like, hey, I want to lose weight. Okay, well, eat less, exercise more, know what works for you, try to develop healthy habits. It can kind of help at that first level, but it's not so good at going deep or at remembering what you said yesterday in a different conversation thread. So coaches, yeah, they still have job security, but it's that first level where people can it's almost like using Google. AI is like a super version of Google. Instead of trying to think of what to type into Google so that you'll get the right results, you can just start having a conversation with AI and eventually get there. And it'll give you those results in a way that sounds like talking to a person versus just a list of web pages. So AI, for most users, it's kind of like just a next level search engine. But one thing that I noticed is that when Google and all these other search engines and YouTube, when they were becoming popular, the need for coaching actually went up, not down. You would think that, oh, well, I don't need a coach because I can just go onto Google or watch YouTube videos. But the need for coaching and coaches' overall revenue actually went up it has been every year for a long, long time. And so my whole point is that coaches need to adapt to AI and use it to help them and their clients. But yeah, people still, they need that human connection and the trust and irresistible offer thing that helps you get clients instead of them just saying, well, I'm just going to use AI. And if they say that, then you need to really look at the irresistible offer, at the value you're giving them. You want to give them something they can't get from AI. And I know I'm kind of going on a little ramble rant here, but one thing, AI, it can kind of simulate being a good listener, but it's really not. I don't. If you talk to AI for very long, it forgets things, and even while typing or talking, I don't know about you, but I rarely feel truly heard the way I do in a conversation like this.
I kind of feel like AI just wants to impress you. Like he just wants to give you that answer, no matter what that goes. And it's like, are you sure this is what you wanted? I mean, I'm not certain, but you're gonna like this. That's how it kind of feels like, to me. But if coaches are going to be embracing it, what do you maybe encourage them to do, especially when it comes to then being congruent, especially to themselves, and not heavily relying on the technology for them to sort of maybe, outlast or beat out the competition?
Yeah, I mean, I would use it as a super version of Google. So anything you might type into a search engine, you're probably going to get faster, easier, better, more congruent results from asking AI your questions. So on one level, you can use it to get the expert knowledge you need to help yourself, to help your clients. And you have to watch out for hallucinations. They call it hallucinating when AI confidently gives you the wrong answer. So you kind of need to spot check it. But another thing, though, it's kind of a second level of using AI are these other AI tools. Some people call them agents. And so an AI agent is really good if you notice yourself doing the same thing over and over and over again, something that could really be a system. That might be time to looking in and seeing, could an AI agent do this repetitive task for me over and over and over again? So that would be kind of a second level of using AI. First is get the information you need. Second is, can you help automate some of these things that these recurring tasks or projects?
Absolutely. Now, there's also a matter of congruency because a lot of coaches want to be the person that are actually delivering, and it's coming from their expertise and who they are and stuff like that. Doesn't AI sort of take that away from them, which then makes them a lesser confident in, showing up and giving their offers, which then diminishes the trust that they are out there to be creating in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that question. I mean, yes, coaches they have their own personal experience and the stories of how they've helped clients. AI probably doesn't have a lot of that to give. Now, it might draw on somebody else's. It might say, "Oh, this author wrote a book about this story," but it can't really say, "Oh, somebody else was just talking to me about that this morning. Here's what they said," because the client confidentiality with AI. So yeah, I mean, coaches they have that human element, and I even asked AI. I asked I asked my favorite AI tool. I said, "Hey, what's the real threat here of AI versus coaching?" And it agreed. It said, "Level one, AI's probably got it handled, but anything above that, there will not be sympathy and empathy and human connection." And it also, which surprised me that it said it, but it said that humans are able to connect the dots faster than AI, which really is true if you think about it. If someone's telling you their life story, you're probably hearing things and coming up with analogies and things that they probably wouldn't get in an AI conversation. So the human element, it's really important to people. One time when ChatGPT first came out, I asked it a question. I said, if I was the last person on Earth and all I had was ChatGPT, and that still worked, but I was the only person on Earth, what kind of advice would you give me? And so one of the first thing it said was to find an animal and make a pet because we need connection. And I thought that was really interesting. That was kind of a fun little exercise to ask it. But yeah, so we do need that human connection, and we get that in coaching as well as a lot of other service-based businesses.
Absolutely. Now, I kind of feel like you really have this beautiful full circle moment here. I mean, when you first started off, you were helping others find their voice, and now your system is now helping coaches amplify that voice. Now, do you ever maybe reflect on, what you've done and the impact that actually has created, because coaches go on and help other people that you might not even meet?
Yeah, it's true. I every once in a while I'll go there. Like I'm usually focused on the here and the now, but I have helped thousands of coaches with laser coaching, and that's it's letting clients hire them that wouldn't normally hire them because it's such an irresistible offer that requires less trust. So I've helped a lot of coaches get a lot of clients and then go on to do even more business with a lot of those clients. So I know that when coaches are helping clients, they're making a big difference in the world, and so yeah, it feels really good. Sometimes I'll just go through and read testimonials because that feels good too. It's like, wow, this person got, emptied their bank account. That's one of the testimonials. I emptied my bank account, bought your course, and made a sale within 24 hours. Like that kind of thing. Those are inspiring to me that I'm helping coaches who may need a little help. And with, the economy and AI and things like that, there is definitely hope. And the magic formula for all of us to remember, and this really works for helping anyone say yes to anything, it's trust and a congruent, irresistible offer.
Absolutely. Now, finally, for someone who's maybe watching this, they're tired of chasing clients and they just want a model that, pulls them instead of them having to keep pushing and pushing, or something that actually works. What's the next best step that they can take with you?
Yeah, so I've put together a webinar, and I call it the AI threat. What to do when your clients think that hiring ChatGPT is better than hiring you. That's close to the title. I don't remember exactly what it is, but yeah, it's basically we talk about that level one stuff with the AI and how people need that human connection, and really the whole trust and congruent irresistible offer is woven into that presentation. And because my name is Rob and it's a webinar, I bought the URL robwebinar.com for congruence. So hopefully that's easy to remember if people would like to see that webinar on the AI threat. Or if someone's watching this 10 years from now, it might be a different title, but I don't plan on letting go of that domain of robwebinar.com.
Oh, absolutely. I like the congruency in that, you stand by, your name and what it represents and things like that. Now, Rob, what a powerful conversation. I mean, you just reminded us that trust is not just a buzzword. You know how many people are throwing that around, trust, congruency and all that stuff. They're not just buzzwords, and they're actually the heartbeat of what every business needs to be profitable and enjoyable. And I think when you align who you are with what you actually offer, clients don't actually need any convincing. They can feel it. Like I felt this conversation, with you today. So I can't thank you enough for the time that we spent on the call today. But now that we're in this zone, you've brought us into your world. What's next? What are you working on that we can all be excited about, that you're putting together?
Yeah, so the next big project is really over on the technology side of things. And I mentioned shopping carts earlier. Yeah, we have actually white labeled a shopping cart and made it specifically for coaches. And I could go on for hours about all the cool things we've gotten it to do, but it's one of those things where I talked about when should you use AI if you have these repeatable tasks or projects that you're doing, using technology to do those things, like creating your email nurture sequence to build trust on autopilot or running an automated webinar. These are things that software can do. And so that's really what we're working on. We've been using it ourselves for I think almost 3 years now, and we just keep making it better and better and better. And we've got some coaches using it, but that's the next project that I'm working on. Right now, I'm focused on helping coaches use laser coaching, and it's been going really well. And helping coaches get clients, especially like if they have a stale list or people are saying no to them on a strategy call. Well, laser coaching makes a great downsell. It's like, oh, you won't hire me for $500 a month. What about this laser coaching thing that gives you a year of unlimited 15-minute calls with me? So that's really where my passion and focus is right now, is the laser coaching. But as far as the future goes, yeah, we're working on our shopping cart.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for obviously leading the way and showing other coaches that A business that's profitable and enjoyable is not a pipe dream as long as you don't use trust and congruency as buzzwords. So if you're a coach or consultant who really wants to stop chasing and start enrolling, I encourage you to go check out Rob's free training at robwebinar.com and see how his fast revenue laser coaching model can actually transform your business. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the Online Prosperity Show, because in our next episode, we're going to be exploring ideas that actually help you build a happier and more fulfilled existence in your business and beyond. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this information by creating trust, congruency, irresistible offers out there that will actually help you create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Until next time, bye for now.